Hi guys, it's Bill. I'm back. And I did a recipe the other day that was so good, I wanted to make another version of it. So basically, this is like this Asian-inspired shrimp and noodle thing, and I did it with pork the other day, and it was like so good. Like everyone was like begging me for it, and I made so much of it for everybody, and so I thought, well, for myself, I want to try it now with shrimp. So I had to kind of switch it up a little bit, but I think it'll be really, really good. But I want to get a little more kind of depth to it, maybe a little more heat to it. So first thing we're gonna have to do is, do a little quick sear on the shrimp, and it's gonna cook a little longer, so I don't have to, cook it to death. But I have a little olive oil in here, and I have a little crushed red pepper, and I just want to release some of that heat into the oil. And I've done this before with shrimp, and I really like the way this works. And I would say that's probably enough. Crushed red pepper or red pepper flakes, whatever you want to call them, are just like really cool. I like using them. But you gotta be careful with it. Alright, just throwing it out there. Alright, so these are pretty toasty right now. So, what I need to do, now that I got this nice and hot and I can smell the fragrance from the peppers, I'm going to take my shrimp and we're going to do this little kind of fast and furious thing, and then we're going to kind of take it off the heat so it stops the cooking, so I can show you how we're going to add everything else, alright? But I forgot, this was just shy of a pound, but I weighed it just so I could tell you. After you peel it and everything, it's about 11 ounces, almost 3/4 pound, so it's probably a pound. That comes out about right. I used to say about how many shrimp, but then I was like, shrimp are so many different sizes, okay? Okay. So, let's get this turned down. I want to add just get you started with it. Come on. I don't really need to like flip them over like every single one of them. I'm just trying to get kind of in groups. Because they're going to cook, trust me. Alright, so now I need to add, I want some sesame oil. It's going to kind of add to that Asian thing, Tablespoon, a little fat, a little extra if you want. I can already smell how lovely that sesame oil is. Some of those crushed red pepper kind of stuck in the bottom here, so we're going to just kind of work with them. Alright, now what I need to do, I just cut up a little red onion. I kind of sliced it thin, but then only like quartered the half, or a third of the half. Just want to get that in just for a little crunch and flavor. So I can tell now, other than a couple shrimp, they're pretty done. Pretty well done. All right. There's a lot of stuff going on here. All right, so what do we do next? I'm going to turn it down like I said. I need about 2 tablespoons of ginger paste. I think ginger just like makes everything happy. And I like buying the paste. It's so much easier to deal with. I also have some oyster sauce. So what I need is about 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. And I think oyster sauce really just adds a lot of flavor, and it's not made from oysters, don't worry. It's really thick. It also makes a great thickener. And I use it in my fried rice, a lot of other things. And sometimes you have to beat the heck out of it, especially if it just came out of the refrigerator to get your 2 tablespoons. One more, there we go. Alright. I'm going to take some soy sauce, because I like the way it's going to add some color, so we need a couple tablespoons of soy. Soy. Oh wait, that's okay. Low sodium. Everything's just staying nice and warm in there. And this is my famous chili garlic sauce that I love. And I want like a couple heaping spoonfuls in here. What the heck, I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to put this back in the fridge. Or what they say, baking is a science, cooking is just an art. You kind of free play in it. Alright. Okay, now I want to mingle everything together for the next step. And that ginger and that chili, everything in here. And the soy sauce is really interesting. You know, it's brewed and it evaporates pretty quick. So that's just going to kind of absorb in, and I love the citrusiness of the ginger. So I want to put some nice color in all this before I proceed. Beautiful. Everything's nice and hot and beautiful. So here's where we have some fun. I need a couple tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. The first time I tried this, I was like, is this really going to work? Yeah, it's divine. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And just for note, if you need to use a balsamic reduction, don't buy the stuff in the store because they just add sweeteners and to thicken it. It's so easy just to put it in a pot on the stove, and slowly just cook it down. I do that when I make my caprese salad, and you still maintain all that tartness. There's no sweetness. Let the tomato be the sweet and acid. Alright. Trying not to overly cook everything at this point, so I've got it medium low. Everything's going to look really pretty here for a second. Alright. Now for the rest of this. So I showed you last time, I've given those little to-go things of peanut butter. It's exactly what you need. So it comes up with 3 tablespoons. Gotta turn this down here. And I'm just going by spoons, and that's about 1.5 tablespoons. Well, that's about 3 tablespoons. So excited about doing this. Alright, so what's the next step? Everything in here is really thick, right? So now we're going to start the process of how I'm going to thin it down. Well, it's really simple. I have a can of chicken broth, and I'm just going to start with putting some in here. That peanut butter all mixed in. Now we've got all those really lovely flavors. Alright. That peanut butter is going to keep it thick. So ultimately, a can's 14 ounces. I'm probably going to, a cup is not quite enough, so I'm probably going to end up almost the whole can or the whole can. So how do you know? Well, you just don't pour it all in. Alright. A little more. Oops. Let me get rid of this lid. A couple more ounces. I haven't even put a dent in this can yet, so while I'm waiting for that, I got some leftover linguine from when I made it with the pork. So this is about 12 ounces of cooked linguine here. I did weigh it actually, it is 12 ounces. And this is where it gets fun. So I know I'm going to need more of my broth. And you can use any kind. I always have chicken around. In fact, I usually have an open box, but I didn't, so I actually had to buy a can. So one of the reasons we don't want to dump all that broth in is I don't want to remove all the flavor off those shrimp. So we got a nice coating on them right now. And you know, in Chinese cooking, lots of times you use cornstarch, and it's funny, peanut butter kind of works like cornstarch. Probably looks like I'm going to be wrong this time. The pork really absorbed a lot of broth, and the shrimp hasn't. So this is going to thicken up with about half a can. Pasta's getting all happy here. The pasta was from the fridge, so I'm needing to get that nice and toasty warm. The sauce is really thickening up quick. Oh, and if you ever mess up, all it takes is a little cornstarch. So what I recommend doing is taking just a couple tablespoons of cornstarch, pouring in just enough. You can use either your broth or you can use a little soy sauce and just mix it up. It'll make this really funny like Play-Doh paste, and mix it in here and it'll thicken it right up. But this is so close, it'll work. Just that cold pasta is really cold. It's cooled down my pan because I had it turned down so far. Now it's coming back. Plus I noticed, I think, a whole lot of pasta in here. Whoops. So I'm gonna just get a little more pasta out of the fridge and dose it in here anyways. Let me take my plate. I'll throw in a couple more ounces. I don't think that's a whole couple ounces. I think it's probably about an ounce and a half. There we go. Now I'm seeing some action. That's what I want. All right. Go ahead, turn this off and see what we can make it look like. Oh, yeah. That's the beauty. So now what do we do? It's really simple. I get to eat some, right? Oh. Let's showcase some of those shrimp. So I've got this nice gravy in here. Like I said, I probably could have used just a little less broth if you want it kind of more clingy, but it's definitely not like running all over the place. So I think we're yeah, that's pretty thick. Yeah, I think we're good. And I always fix the portions on the recipe card that I put on it. But anyway, this is smelling really great. So what I gotta tell you is, I certainly want you to try this. If the pork one didn't sound that great to you, this definitely will be. And I thank you all for watching me. I really hope you've got some comments for me, and you're ringing that notification bell and you're subscribed and catching all these videos, because I'm really, like I always say, this is a lot of fun for me, and as long as you're watching, I'll keep cooking. So have a great day.